Hi, good morning from the Cooper Family Channel. I recently posted something on Facebook. Jake took Kira, my 6-year-old, out on date night. Now, I felt like people were gonna say a bunch of bad things about that, but I think that it's the most important thing that a man can do is to take his daughter out, because when he does that, he shows her how a man should treat a woman as she grows up. So, the thoughtfulness to dress up, to take them out, to have that special time together, you're giving them a model of like how they should be treated. I think a lot of times this doesn't happen, and girls just want to settle because they don't think that there's many options, but there are good guys out there. And that's such a special bond and time for the kids to share, and if you have a son, don't think your son's not watching that, or you don't think that they know that there's families that argue a lot. In our house, we are really good at communicating. So any situation Jake and I have, we just sit down and talk about it, no matter what the situation is or how dire we think it is. We try to talk it out, because you don't have to yell and scream. There's just other ways to resolve it. And it's hard when you feel like you're butting heads against the person that's supposed to love you. So I think communication is really important. But, it's easy to get sidetracked by life, getting frustrated, not spending as much time with the kids. But we have to. And they see everything we do as a model for their life as they're growing up. Are you messy? Are you clean? Do you yell instead of talking? Do you listen? So, just taking that time for them, even if it's just a few moments. If you're in the middle of build or whatever, you can be like, hey, can you give me just a minute, and I'll give you 5 minutes of my undivided attention. Because really, when you talk about 5 minutes, it's not that bad. But little kids, Kiara Rose, she doesn't have much patience. Mom, mommy, mom, aboard. So it is a little more hard to do that. But like I said, date night, yeah, I thought I was going to get a whole bunch of backlash on that. And so I very quickly explained to myself, and I didn't get any comments after that, because it makes sense. The biggest role model you will have in your house is Jesus and you. So, of course, we can't, be on the level that Jesus is, but we definitely need to try. And I always remind the kids that every day is a new day. But when you're a model for a child, they look up to everything you do, good and bad. And they think, oh, well, if a grown-up is doing it, it's okay. I love the kind of love that Jake and I have for each other. I never felt in my life, never thought that I would. But he's caring and affectionate. And I think that it leaves a model for my kids of what they could have. They know that things haven't been good with their other dads, and so they know the contrast. Or they go to a friend's house and they know that things aren't as good other places. And for the moms and dads, come home, greet each other, say, oh, how was your day? That's saying I care, and I want to know about you and what went on in your life today. Give them a kiss on the cheek. It's very a sweet old gesture, but it's still affectionate, and your kids are watching it all. So, which is funny, because Kira thinks it doesn't matter where the kiss is. She thinks kisses are gross, as many little kids do. But it's important for them to see that affection, So I encourage everyone to have date night with their kids. it's truly been something special for us. And it also leaves, it's a really good time to talk about anything, and it's good for lessons. I know, Joe, we went out last week, and we talked about some things, and it was so good. First of all, it's hard to get him out of the house, and so for him to be out and being open to actually talk, because he's not a talker, so it was really good. So I encourage, whether it's, mother and son, mother and daughter, that's great bonding, dad and daughter, even, father and son, because those are time for really good lessons. And especially when you get close to the growing up and you want to start displaying how a gentleman acts, or things you need to know growing up, because girls can be bad too, but boys, sometimes they just don't know what the appropriate thing to say, or that girls, you have to be more a little gentle, because a lot of times boys talk different than in front of girls, so just some of those things. It's great to sit down and be like, you're starting to grow up, and we need to start doing some of these things. Doesn't have to be opening doors, although that is a wonderful feeling to know that someone cares enough to open the door and make sure that you get safely into a vehicle. Or the old gesture is when you're walking down a sidewalk, that the male is on the outside of the sidewalk and the female on the inside. It's a sign of protection and affection. So just some of those old things. But date night, date night is super important for me and Jake, but it's just as important for the kids, so we can continue building a bond, know that they can talk to us about anything, and just given that model of how we should and could act, but don't always all the time. But we are the main teacher in their life. There's 3 teachers: Jesus, us, and their teachers. But their teachers are educational. It's our responsibility to teach some of the other stuff of life skills, So I don't know if this helped you. Hopefully some of you guys will try it, and let me know how it went. I look forward to see your feedback. Have a blessed day. Bye.